Kelian,
and ask him.
What's your sigil action?
There's two things I want to do. Kelian's sigil action, I think, has been driving him nuts. He is going to take meticulous inventory of everything in the rat hole and start establishing a procedure of when people take out money, they make a note of it so we can keep an appropriate ledger.
Excellent.
Yes.
I can put my notes for what I owe Mahogany right there. I'll help you with that.
Kelian, in the corner of the room, just scattered, you find 1,000 platinum in platinum bars. Psionically purified.
Here's my question. Does Kelian accrue a fee for this procedure?
Yes.
I think it's peace of mind.
Liberation, what's your sigil action?
I'm gonna go talk to Yashnars.
What's Nath's?
Wizard bookkeeping. I have to go over these spell books. I probably need to go to the marketplace to restock up on components I burnt.
Okay. And Mahogany? Taking the rats on tour?
Yeah. I want you to remember this, Brick Road, because these rats will come up again.
Oh, I hope not.
And
I really hope that's a lie.
No. I'm gonna pop in and see how my business is doing.
Okay.
The business we've ignored for like months.
Dude, that's in character though. Like, it isn't like, oh, the business isn't interesting, let's skip over this. There's just several months where Mahogany just forgets he has one.
Oh, don't worry, I haven't marked on the calendar the last time you've asked to check on the business. So, the DMG has rules for this. So, Riot, you're meeting with yourself. How much money do you give them?
We haven't divvied up our money yet.
It would be 4,200 each if we divvied it up 5 ways.
4,200 gold? Good enough.
Platinum are 10 each, right?
Yes.
Platinum are 10 each.
Yeah, so there's 11 plus... there's total of 21k in gold and platinum.
Okay, so 4,200
in the rat hole.
I'm seeing differently. I'm seeing 31k. If
I
we
got
2,000, if we got 2,000 platinum times 10,
Yep.
that's 20,000 plus 11,000.
Oh, you're right. Yep, I dropped a digit.
31k.
Yep.
This is why we need an appropriate ledger.
So 6.2 each.
So 6.2 each. Okay. I'm gonna say they get 5.5. Nope, that's not true.
That's a lot of money.
They get 3,000.
Okay.
Because
And
I need some of this to pay the rest of my balance with what's her face.
are you going to take care of the rest of that balance during this?
Yeah, but
downtime
that's
here?
not like a scene. That's not like
Gotcha.
a scene. I'm just gonna do that payment.
So, old business with the cell. What do you inquire about?
The last thing I had them do was I gave them some money and said, make sure that this loophole shenanigans that the governors are trying to pull doesn't happen. Because I think what I remember last time was they were looking for a way out to make sure that the class action suit failed.
Mm-hmm. And the class action suit, they're actually a little proud of this, has gone along swimmingly. Not only have a lot of these business owners seen recompense, but quite a large contingent of the fated have gotten in on the business because these payouts are happening. They see a way to skim off of it, which in turn gives them incentive to get involved and make the payouts even bigger. Their report is that the governors have been hit very, very hard over this. It's been jamming up the courts. It's been backing up chaos in the streets because more and more governor resources are devoted to this than other things. Petitions have been made that the Harmonium pull together some resources in order to pay out a lot of these stipends. And in one particularly noteworthy case, a silver mine on Arcadia under Harmonium control was signed over to a member of the Fraternity of Order to oversee some of these payouts.
Wow.
So any damage that happened in the Great Bazaar as a result of Harmonium intrusion has at least monetarily been seen to.
Okay.
Do I get a check in the mail?
You didn't have anything in the bazaar.
There was some shit going down right outside my door. People were fighting in the streets.
That wasn't in the bazaar. That's in the Guildhall ward. It's not your turn. Shush. Any other old business with the cell?
I think at one point we had that list from. We got the information from that one governor that I went to, who was undercover, right? Of like what plane Nylesia was communicating with.
Because she had been vanishing out of the prison?
Right. I feel like we got that, but then never did anything with it.
And the reason being is because that was a very difficult thing to follow up on.
Yeah.
You told them that they were to assume considerable risk without necessarily putting their lives in danger.
Yeah.
They don't have any concrete proof of this, but they've bent a lot of resources. They've bought a lot of people inside of the prison at this juncture. You've given them a ton of money. They've got eyes on every corner of the place. The number of portals in and out of there is still unfathomable, but your cell seems pretty convinced that Nylesia is sneaking off Sigil to meet with Rowan Darkwood. And again, they don't have any tangible proof, and it sounds like it might just be like an ale tap rumor, but that seems to be what the science pointing to, because they've also bought eyes in the Fated that they've correlated with, and that seems to support it.
Okay.
If that's true, either the breakup you witnessed was a farce, or it's over now.
All right. That's all good information. I think new business.
Yeah.
And Riot starts handing out coin.
They like
I
getting
have
coin.
been a pirating.
They're very impressed.
So yeah, I'm going to give them, actually, I think we said it's 6.2 everyone has. Yeah, I'm going to give them 4,000.
Okay.
And say that, and ask if the Harmonium is still in control of the Bazaar.
That's a difficult question to answer, because it's going to it'll differ depending on who you ask. The Harmonium is in official control, official in air quotes. But you know of these organized in-depths. Kind of an oxymoron until this past year went down. Kind of just bubbling beneath the surface. And the reason there hasn't been further violence since then is because the Harmonium don't seem interested in tearing the place down.
Okay.
The in-depths are still in kind of de facto control. They still own many of the shops and stalls. The Harmonium have a very large visual presence, but right now things are kind of a low simmer. Who's in control? Hard to say. It would have to explode again. Do you want to influence that one way or the other?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in making it explode again.
Uh-oh. And so
I want to turn public sentiment against the hardheads.
okay.
So, pick whatever unfair fights you can, make them look as bad as you can. This is going to involve a lot of risk, and we're going to have to pay off some people. But the more we can do to turn the public sentiment against the hardheads, the more we make it look like they're in the wrong, because that's what they hate, right? Is looking like they're in the wrong.
They do hate being wrong.
Yeah, let's make them look like scum.
I'm sure Nath will be very happy to hear that. And that's do you want them to continue their work in the prison with part of these monies?
I feel like we've got what we want out of the prison so far.
Okay.
I think the next angle on that might be We've got to approach Nylesia at some point, or we've got to figure out what the game is between Nylesia and Darkwood. But I don't know if that's necessarily a prison angle to work.
Okay, so to be very clear, at this juncture, Riot is financing domestic terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At this juncture.
Yeah, this isn't new.
Well,
this is not a new thing.
This is the first time that Riot's actually said go out there and hurt some people.
Yeah, and that's Riot's new belief. Riot's belief changed, and now her instructions to her faction or to her cell are changing.
Notice how she said faction?
I like how the belief's getting shorter now. That's a first. Okay. So you have a productive meeting with your cell. You tell them to get out there, hurt some people, blame it on the hardheads. They're willing to assume the risk. They've essentially grown fat off your adventures.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to get their hands in a lot of different pies. Kelian,
Yes, sir.
you inventory everything in the rat hole. You don't find anything is misplaced or out of sorts. Whatever. I don't know what your party loot sheet looks at this point. I'm sure it's terribly messy.
Yeah.
There is
What
no
I'm
party.
going to do, I'm going to organize. I'm going to go through everyone's character sheets and assume that everyone's just using the rat hole as the bank that I think they are, and build one.
Okay.
You're saying you're going to put columns outside of this rat hole.
And it really does occur to Kelian, he should really start making his own banking faction in Sigil.
The holders.
Wow.
But just think of how much money they could make, like interest rates and everything. Like we've got all the money in
No,
the
you
rat
give
hole now.
interest to the other people.
So
That's
just so
the
you know,
opposite of how banks.
Kelian, everything
yeah,
on my
that's what I
character
meant.
sheet
That's what I meant.
is on my character sheet. I just blew 4,000 on my cell, and I blew the rest of all of I had to pay off the balance
That's fine.
of my debt, and then that's it. That's everything I got from this adventure.
Do you have any more balance on the spell research?
No, that's what I was saying when I paid off that balance.
That's clear. Okay.
So the only thing left there to do is time.
Approve your loan at a 2,000% interest rate. Oh, you can't pay it? Well, everything you have is ours now, and we sell it to the Fated, and they give us gold.
What does Kelian charge his companions for this service of taking control of the rat hole?
How much?
Clearly, he has the right to accrue a fee.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much of a dick.
And is he
Kelian is.
telling us that he's doing this?
Yeah, he's not that much of a monster. I think.
I mean,
he'll-
Nath's right there with you because he's found the group's finances to be frustratingly vague at times. He's needed money to buy spell components or whatnot.
Kelian approves of this bonding.
Okay.
I mean, for what it's worth, I could be charging you for these pearls or reagents for true seeing, but we're friends.
Liberation.
Hey,
You're gonna go see Yashnars.
I am.
To what end?
To what end? So some shit went down the past couple of sessions. Liberation's done some things that he's probably not very proud of. First of which being punching Riot in the face repeatedly. And so he is seeking to perform some act of penance to the Temple of Osprey.
He wants to know if Riot deserved it.
The fact that I can't answer that immediately should say something, but no, this was me. This was me acting like a fucking fool.
Well, it wasn't totally you. I mean, you were under control.
Yashnars is an orc, man. I mean, he's covered in battle scars. he deserved every single one of them, and he wears them as a badge of pride. And if Riot has half the sense he believes she does, she'll wear hers as well. He says there's nothing shameful or sinful about combat.
Well, let me tell you a little story. And Liberation breaks down how the fight went down and when he got controlled and turned around and punched Riot repeatedly and that kind of thing. And it doesn't Osprey get mad at shit like that? Like punching her priests?
He says it sounds to me that you suffer from what we might call a weakness of character, to allow yourself to be manipulated in such a way.
Perhaps.
Not hearing a whole lot of remorse for throwing a hand axe at Mahogany.
Well, Mahogany's not a priest of Osprey.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Yashnar hears the story, and as far as he's concerned, Riot's not dead. She came through it. She'll be stronger for the experience. And you've got a weakness to work on. He's not going to help you with that. Get to it.
Mm. Okay.
He says the small fish get eaten. Don't be a small fish.
At the very least, Liberation will leave a tithe of 620 gold.
That's a lot of gold as a tithe. All right.
Well, it's literally a tithe.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually it is.
Yeah.
And there's another 620 that's going to the soup kitchen.
Nath.
Mm-hmm.
These spellbooks. First of all, again, it's very strange that the Illithids would have these to begin with. They abhor arcane magic. The idea that they would hold on to these doesn't make any logical sense to you. Mechanically, between these 4 spellbooks, I'll essentially just give you access to wizard spells level 5 and below to copy into your own spellbook if you want.
Okay.
At the regular cost or whatever. Level 5? Yeah, level 5. I had to double check. As soon as I said that, I'm like, no, wait, it wasn't 5, it was 4, but no, it's 5.
And then I mean, is there any? Do I need to go over all the stuff I want to go buy at the bazaar? It's all pretty boilerplate, aside from maybe a tuning fork.
I mean, if it's just the boilerplate stuff, just go ahead and nickel and dime it out of the PHP.
Yeah.
Whatever you
The
need
only,
to do.
I guess, the only one I would have wonders about is tuning forks for the limbo, and I figure that shouldn't be too hard to come by. But then, do I need one tuning fork to hit any prime material, or are they separate planes?
Every prime material world is on the same plane.
Okay, so I just use my prime material tuning fork if I want to go back to the Harmonium homeworld. Excellent.
The major difference between using plane shift or something similar to reach the prime material is some areas of the prime are off limits and nobody knows why. Like in mechanical terms, you can't plane shift to Aethys. Doesn't work.
Okay.
You can't get into or out of Aethys that way. Or Ravenloft. Don't try that either.
Right.
Well, that's a demi-plane.
Well, I guess other than that, then, if the books only go up to 5th level, I'd like to try and find a place to research to find some higher level spells as well.
Okay.
I have some money to spend. Oh, and Mahogany, I give you 1,000 gold for all borrowing from you for components and whatnot.
And Mahogany throws it in his corner.
Sure.
Mahogany, let's see how your business is doing. So first I'm going to make a roll, and then you're going to make a
50
roll.
copper.
So what's the better outcome here? That the business loses a bunch of money, or that it makes a bunch of money?
I want it to be exactly 0, or else they're not using their money right.
Go ahead and roll percentile. 1d100.
Okay. We'll make green be, or not green, we'll make metal be 10s. 29.
29. Okay. The business is running at a loss. A pretty severe one. In fact, they could use an injection of 970 gold to stay afloat.
Yeah, that's fine. I just got 1,000 gold. You know, serendipity. And, I actually have a new idea, new business.
Is this replacing the old one?
No. So here's the thing: is I
Oh my
previously
God.
spent a banana to be able to establish various faction-related businesses as part of the business.
Yes.
And so I have a new one, which is I tried to ask Nath for help on this. He hasn't been.
Did you cut out?
You
Yeah,
cut
I
out
cut out.
Nodal.
We lose Nodal.
Oh no.
We'll never know what Nodal's spending his banana on.
I'm back.
He's
Okay,
back.
so
Welcome back. Thank
Yeah.
God.
so Nath's been doing fuck all after I asked him for help on this.
I think planning to do this on the next downtime action. I just hadn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't got to it yet. So I think that the next business that I'm going to create is with the governors.
Okay.
And I'm going to establish a group of, because these are people who are constantly trying to learn the laws of the multiverse, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to pay for them with some wizards of them or whatever to try to figure out if this business does nothing, if serendipity does nothing, when somebody is going to die, and then try to figure out what we can do to change that. Essentially, I'm trying to create magical actuarials.
That sounds like a business a governor would have.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, to what end do you want to bend this business venture? To what gain?
So I
If any.
think in general, people who have a lot of money will want to know what they can do to keep having a lot of money by being alive. And we can use it for that. But in specific, what I want them to bend their work towards is figuring out when one of the factals is going to die and how to prevent it.
Do you specify which factal, or you just let them figure it out on their own?
Yes.
You do. So do you specify Hashkar?
Yeah.
I like how Nodal's trying to invent psychohistory now.
Do you put any mechanism in place to offer protection of serendipity
Oh,
when the inevitable
absolutely.
backlash hits?
When the what do you mean?
I'm trying to get a good sense of. So you're trying
Because
to
remember, serendipity is a group of adventurers.
right. You're trying
Their
to.
whole goal is to protect themselves. Like they have ways of getting in contact with me if they need more fucked up existence, and we've done that in the past.
Okay, so when the governors start filing paperwork and it starts going up the chain, it starts getting back. There's this group called Serendipity that's taken a great interest in whether or not Factal Hashkar is going to die.
Right.
And at first it's going to be paperwork landing on Serendipity's desk. Mountains and mountains of it to sort through.
Yeah.
Endless questions and interviews at all levels of your organization.
Well, good news, we're being run by a governor.
So you're going to take all of that in stride. And is this going to be your primary effort to try to save Factal Hashkar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for like this is my primary, not personal effort. Like, if it comes up while we're trying to do things, then clearly we'll get involved. But like with regards to what we can do with our resources, this is going to be that.
I'm going to ask Mahogany a question I think I've only asked of Riot to this point.
Yeah.
What level of risk are you willing to allow your underlings to take
To take on my behalf,
on behalf of this particular business venture on a scale of 1 to 10?
8.
An 8. Okay.
Yeah. And I leave it up to I forget, we wrote his name down somewhere. The governor that I have established on here.
Mhm.
That he can consider his primary responsibility beyond the money keeping and so on to be explaining that we're trying to save Factal Hashkar's life.
Okay.
My boss thinks that Factal Hashkar is going to get assassinated.
Oh, I don't tell them that he's going to get assassinated. I just tell them, hey, if this guy's going to die, I want to know when, and I want to know how to stop it.
You're pitching it as a sort of curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way I pitch it is like, hey, if we figure it out for Factal Hashkar, like, I bet that'll be because Factal Hashguard is the head of the governors, right?
He's the
Yeah, he's a factal.
Factal of the governors, right? So I
It's not just his
figured like
name.
that would be something that these governors that I'm trying to get working for me will be interested in. Hey, is our factal going to die, and how can we stop it?
That would probably depend on the governor, but in general, you would be right. Okay, that could be very interesting.
So when Brickroad said that he wasn't going to be introducing any new sigil plots,
I said I wasn't going to be introducing any new sigil plots. I didn't say anything about Mahogany introducing.
I've been
new
trying
sigil
so
plots.
hard to come up with like faction businesses, and I thought of this one. And I was like, "Yep, I'm definitely starting the governor actuarials."
oh,
In the very short term, like within a few weeks.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I have to give them gold in order to start this up. I give them the 5,000 gold.
okay. In the short term, within the couple, we're taking about 3 weeks of downtime here total. Entirely. Oh no, we only took 1 week of downtime because that's how long it took Riot to get back.
Mhm.
In the very short term, and you'll have to keep on top of this to get more updates.
Yeah.
But results look weird and promising. Like there might actually be some kind of cosmic law that governs when individual people die.
Right.
And if that's the case, things could get very strange very quickly.
Cool.
Which is not a sentence I ever thought I'd have to say. Okay. Any other sigil business we want to do for this session before we wrap it on up and go to our breakdowns? I gave a lot of blips this session.
I was interested in trying to find some high-level spells, but we can handle that next session if it's actually going to be role-played versus just write the money off.
It's not necessarily things we have to roleplay, but it's going to be a question of what spells do you want and where do you try to get them.
Okay.
Usually you could go to the Harmonium, you go to your faction to get spells, but they won't have access to every spell in the book.
I might
that's-
actually... I mean, if we have 2 weeks, I might take the opportunity to plane shift back to the Harmonium homeworld and try there.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, like, there are spells in the PHB that are kind of outside of the Harmonium wheelhouse entirely. Like, spells that would
Right.
promote chaos or entropy would not be something the Harmonium are interested in.
Yeah, at least 2 of these I know I'll get because there's stuff I've seen them use, but I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't know them. But
In
rest of
general, unless they're, like, one of the really stupid, powerful level 8 or level 9 spells, I probably won't see a reason to say no. It just might be expensive depending on where you go to get it.
okay, do you want to actually go over that right now, or
No, just put it together during
Okay.
the downtime and hit me up
uh,
at the start of next
Yeah,
session.
I really like the idea of us finding that wizard spellbook from last campaign that we treated as essentially a magical nuke, and we bring it back, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, like the factions all have this, and we've got like 6 of them. Don't worry about it."
Okay.
Oh, was that Baba Yaga's spellbook?
No, it was the guy who made the crazy death ray.
yeah, the Suikoden Death
Oh,
Ray.
yeah, I remember him now.
I don't remember him. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do. I remember because you called us
We
out
worked
because
with the with what
You
was
snapped
it?
his neck.
Hobgoblins. Yeah.
You snapped a lot of necks. And you gotta
Yeah.
narrow it down. Alright, I'm gonna set up a straw poll here. I don't have a lot of math to do because you didn't kill... I mean, you killed a lot of commoners. But
That's
Really nice
incidental.
answer.
see, that's a philosophical question. Do incidental kills still give experience?
Well, see, here's the thing: is it's technically the Illithid who killed them, but then we killed him, so we get
Well-
all the experience he had.
I can answer this definitively because Brickroad refused to give me the kills for all those monsters I killed when I cast Insect Plague in the horrible Flesh Tower.
That's true.
I have been pretty consistent about that. If you didn't actually deal a death blow in combat. I almost...
Eventually, we'll get to the point where we manage to role play someone dead, and we'll have to make that argument.
Usually, if you roleplay your way through an encounter that I originally intended to be combat, I just give you the combat experience for it.
Riot basically roleplayed someone dead today when she refused to take that Arcana Lost deal because that mage died as a direct result.
yeah.
We don't know. They could have knocked you out before that.
All right, here is a straw poll, chat. Go ahead and... Oh, assuming I can connect. My internet's kind of flaking out on me.
Might be the card in your laptop.
It might be. I don't know. It's possible. It has overheating problems, and I tried to take the... Because I guess in order to get in to clean out the fan, you gotta take the keyboard off. You can't just take the back of the case off. But all I managed to do is break my escape key. So I don't have an escape key. I just have the little rubber nubbin there. So I gave up on that and just shot air into the vent as best I could. So if the laptop explodes one day, that'll be very interesting on stream. We give 1 blip for creativity. Who had the most creative solution this session?
I wish we could split the blip for Riot and Mahogany for just pooping on those two beholders.
I really, really enjoyed the 1 square wall of fire. Personally. But it's not my decision.
Yeah, we don't have a straw poll yet.
I think Destil already said there was something he wanted to give me a blip for, so let's give this one a Riot.
Okay.
I'll split
I'm fine
this.
with that.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Nodal's stupid ass joke.
work on getting the straw poll in there.
I'm a strong believer in let's split these blips up.
We give 1 blip for the assist. Who furthered the party's goals the most?
Probably Nath, because we would all be dead.
Yeah. we would all be writing in Yugoloth's silly journal.
Would that be such a bad thing? All right, I posted the straw poll again. So Nath for the assists.
Sounds good to me.
Give
I
1
mean, he
blip
didn't save
for
me, but
the badass. Who was the biggest badass this session?
Well, you say biggest badass. Liberation was the biggest. Eh?
I'll vote for that.
What did Liberation do that was badass? Just be big?
You said
His ass is pretty bad, and he was very
Actually,
big.
no, we already gave one to
go ahead.
Nath, huh?
I mean, Kelian did shoot both of those Olithids dead.
Yeah.
he did.
Oh, that's true.
If we hadn't already given one to Nath, I would have given it to Nath for walking right up to a beholder and getting his face sucked off as a result.
That
with it.
Nath came ridiculously close to being
Yeah.
killed right there.
Yep. Then I could. The thing is, I only failed that save on a 1.
Nice.
That was the least.
On a 2, I spend power points and get a 15.
If that Illithid had gotten another turn,
Yep.
he automatically hits, or he gets attack or advantage on the roll. No, yeah, he gets advantage on it because he's stunned. 10d10 psychic damage, and if that reduces him to 0, he's dead. His brain gets eaten. So, Liberation or Nath or Kelian for the badass.
I go with Liberation because he was big.
And we give 1 for intangibles.
Oh, this was Mahogany's.
This was Nodal's stupid joke blip.
That's the one except otherwise.
Yep.
I
No,
don't.
do we need to remember the joke, or are we
I'd
good?
rather not.
Okay.
No, I forget. Tell me what it was.
The joke was that we were talking about surprise rounds and how if the Illithid got 2 turns in a row, and Nodal would say that would really suck.
Right, of course. Yes, that was it.
Oh.
That's
Ow.
the one worthy of a blip.
It hurts coming right back up too. Let me tell you.
Oh, excellent. All right, let's do... That's the wrong page. Here it is. Do I have any triple no's on beliefs? All right, what is Kelian's belief?
Kelian's belief is up to me to be ruthless to others when my associates can.
And did he live that belief this week?
Nah. Didn't really have an opportune time to come up other than just shooting Illithid dead.
Did he learn anything new about his belief?
Yeah. His associates are very reckless with cash, and they do not. And as a result of that, he is starting to realize the kind of power and influence money can have.
And
yes, his beliefs are changing because of that.
before that, how does this? Because he's starting just now to understand the power that money can have. How does he square that with not paying his own debts to Lady Lygris? Is that
No,
a
I
power
don't-
play for him, or is that just him being cheeky?
That is a power play with him
Okay.
because he is under control of Lady Lygris now, right?
Oh, is that what he thinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So what are your beliefs changing to?
something to do with something money related in terms of something like cash rules everything around me, but
That's
it's a little more fun.
That's like a drastic change then, because that's not just a mutation of the old belief.
Yeah, it is a drastic change, but
Okay.
it's still mutation because he still believes that he has to be ruthless because the people he's partied with are aloof sometimes, but especially when it comes to financial based matters.
So let's actually real talk for a moment, because what Kelian
Sure.
brings up an interesting point. You guys have affected quite a lot of change in the city of Sigil just by throwing money around. You've established a temple. You've
Yep.
toppled faction plots. You've hosted parties. You've murdered people. You've gotten the attention of several factals. You've been instrumental in all kinds of goings on in the city, and the Lady of Pain looked at Riot once. So, how much of that, from Kelian's perspective, like in a percentage, like how much of that is the result of you guys just being powerful planewalking adventurers and throwing your muscle around, and how much of that is just bringing cash into the city, from his perspective?
I think it's got to be 50-50. Like, I think it's both. I think part of it is like all of this cash they're just throwing around influences so much. It helps that they're adventurers and they affect change and they're involved with late Aunt Nancy plot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's got to be at the very least equal. And if it has to be one or the other, in Kelian's eyes, it's money related.
Okay. Riot. What's Riot's belief?
Power that oppresses must be answered by power that liberates.
And did she live that belief this week?
Yeah, I think in a couple different ways.
Okay.
One is, like, especially was that she used up the last of her power to save some slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when everyone else was like, all right, grab what you can, Riot went to grab the people.
Would that Liberation could have done that, he would have done that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, that's part of Riot's belief, almost, is that, like, now that she has all this power, she needs to use it for this purpose. Riot knows that, like, sorry, Liberation, she's way more powerful than Liberation. And her belief is that she needs to keep that power focused on this thing.
Okay. Did she learn anything new about her beliefs? Or is that what she learned?
Yeah, that is what she learned, I think.
Had kind of an Uncle Ben moment?
Yeah.
And are her beliefs changing?
Nah.
What is
She
Nath's
just got this
belief?
Nath's belief is those who seek protection should be delivered to proper authority, free from any form of harm, even if it means harming the authority, and those who do not, or those who harm or break laws otherwise and do not, must be stopped carefully.
And did he live that belief this session?
Yeah, but the carefully part is questionable.
How
He's
so?
not exactly as cautious as he would normally be when there's Illithids around to kill.
So, question. If in Sigil, Nath received word that an Illithid citizen had been wronged, would Nath intervene on that citizen's behalf?
No, he'd just try and kill him.
Wow. Nice.
Come on, it's a fucking squid head.
So
I don't know why we're having this conversation and not preparing
So-
for
we're talking
That's
of
a cop.
we're talking
Wait a
of
second, are you telling me there's an illithid and Sigil?
And Squiggle.
Squiddle?
Did Nath learn anything new about his beliefs?
not particularly.
And are they changing?
No.
Liberation, what's your belief?
Chains of oppression prevent the oppressed from reaching the potential, and care must be taken to have a plan for freeing them.
And did he live that belief?
See, here was his plan. He was like, okay, we're going to take out these illithids, and then we're going to call the gnome ship and be like, hey, these guys, we're gonna get these guys to somewhere safe where they can, not be slaves anymore.
Right.
And that was Liberation's plan, and everything was going to work out just fine. And then things happened.
So did he learn anything new about his belief?
Even the best laid plans can sometimes fail you, and you need to be able to call an audible when things don't go your way.
So the deaths of those slaves, whose hands are, like, who bears that responsibility, in Liberation's opinion?
He does.
Liberation does.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't enslave them or kill them, or he didn't have any hand in any part of their fate. Why does Liberation blame himself?
Because he wasn't able to be there to save them.
It's just that feeling of guilt of not being able to save them translates into he shirked his responsibility.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Are his beliefs changing at all?
Again, I know I said this last week, but I say yes, but I'm having trouble putting into a thesis statement.
What are you going to do with those manacles that you insisted
I
on
have
keeping?
no idea yet.
As soon as I saw the random treasure generator rolled a set of jeweled manacles, I'm like, oh, okay, well this'll be very interesting. So I'm glad we had that moment. What is?
When if you want to throw them in the fires of Mount Doom, I'm right there behind you.
I have no
His
idea
name
what's
is
going to happen.
Bahamut. Okay.
Anybody who's played Morrowind knows every slave in that game wears a set of enchanted manacles that saps their stamina. That's essentially what these are. What is Mahogany's belief?
Everything has a perfect state of being, and you have a responsibility to change your own perfect form.
And did he live that belief this week?
Yeah, when he got back to Sigil.
So that's Mahogany's perfect state of being, is being back in Sigil?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. But being off the Prime, mostly. But, no, I'm referring to, in particular, the fact that, like, every huge thing that we've accomplished, like, when we saved all the people from that tower, has been because we've actually managed to get each of the factions working together according to their own personal, according to what they're good at.
Yeah.
And that's what Mahogany is doing now, is he's saying, okay, we've got the governors. How can I make use of what their perfect state of being in order to accomplish what I need to?
So let's actually dial that down just a bit. Let's bring it down to like the home level. Your team, you have a Cypher, a Hardhead, a Godsman, an Anarchists, and I don't even remember the other guy. Something crazy, I'm sure. These are factions that traditionally don't work well together.
Right.
But the five of you have been able to accomplish a great deal, even just since Nath came on board.
Right.
So,
and in general, we try to have, like, at least when Mahogany deals with the different members of his party, he tries to deal with them on the terms of their faction. Like, when he wants Kelian to do something, he knows how to convince him.
I guess my question is, does Mahogany see the personalities in his party? Does he see them as individuals, or does he see those faction philosophies as defining who they are?
He thinks that the reason that the factions in Sigil exist is because there's a certain number of of different viewpoints in the multiverse, and people just naturally fit into those.
15. There's exactly 15 viewpoints in the multiverse.
Right.
No more, no less.
So he thinks that if there was ever a situation where one of the factions stopped being and another one came into being, it's because that set of beliefs is no longer what people in the multiverse fit into.
Mahogany learn anything new about his beliefs?
No.
And are they changing?
No.
All right, Kelian, Riot, and Liberation. I've got 2 bips for you, belief points for you. Nath and Mahogany can each take 1.
Point of order before we move on.
Yep.
There was something that I was going to bring up before we wrapped up, but everybody was, getting stuff done, and I didn't feel like stepping on anyone's toes then. But recall Brick Road a few months back, Aunt Nancy put Liberation and Kelian on
I've been thinking about that the whole time.
On a thing about.
Yeah, I remember very well.
That he wants to see more failures. I think this pretty well counts as a failure. Sure, we made a lot of money in the process.
What Nancy said was he wanted you and Kelian to deliberately fail the mission. That's not what you guys did. The mission, I don't see it was a failure. You guys killed all the Illithids. You made off with some treasure. But
yeah, Kelian doesn't view what happened as a failure, but he's very much the minority, it turns out.
Yeah.
I feel like also
Liberation feels that was a complete failure.
Even if Liberation does, what did Liberation do to cause that failure?
Punch Riot in the face a couple times.
That wasn't on your own behalf, though.
Well, you have to convince Aunt Nancy about that. What do you think Aunt Nancy would say?
He'd say, I think Aunt Nancy would say, "You're stretching, boy. You need to try again."
He'd say, "My bless your heart."
Now, I watch let me give some experience out before I go off onto a tangent here.
Okay.
All right, I got a tangent for you guys, too.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, God, no. 2 tangents? Okay.
All right, so for combat experience, you killed 2 of both of them. That's right, you hit. There were 3 Illithid left on the ship, you killed 2 of them. There we go.
That's not good.
Oh, God.
Well, the last one died when the ship vacated its air. You personally killed 2 of them. The last one... Yeah. Well, the last one had to be in place to drop all the psychic defenses. Drop that wall of force, basically. So, for 2 Illithids and 2 Mind Witnesses, everybody gets 1880 for the combat.
Okay.
That's already divided?
That's already divided, yes.
Okay.
Riot, I've got you down for 6 blips this session.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Okay,
these are all worth 1,500?
These are worth 1,500.
Yes.
I think this is the most blips a single player's got in the whole campaign.
Yes.
So, I gave you your flaw. I don't trust anyone but me not to fuck everything up. For begging and pleading with Mahogany to not fuck everything up. It was killing her that she couldn't step in and do it herself, and she knew Mahogany wasn't going to do it. I gave you your faction blip for all your work with the Revolutionary League. You took the creative blip. You took the straw poll blip. I gave you a blip for your song, and I gave you a blip for personally going back for that prisoner.
All right.
So that's 6 blips in addition to the encounter. So you should level up 4 more times. That'll happen with that. Liberation. I gave you your alignment blip for giving all your money to charity, as usual. Mm-hmm. You took the badass blip, and I also awarded you 1 blip for going back to get that prisoner. Even though you weren't able to physically do it, the spirit was definitely there and does not go unnoticed.
Yeah, okay. Cool, thank you.
Kelian, I gave you your faction blip for the work in the rat hole. And I look forward to seeing that party loot sheet in the future.
No problem.
Nath, I definitely gave you your flaw blip. I don't think I've ever seen a player willingly walk into the space adjacent to an Illithid and say, "Fuck it! The rogue's behind me, now he gets sneak attack."
Yep.
And if that Illithid had gotten another... How many hit points did you have left?
I I had 11, and then I got 2 healing spells, and I had 10 temporary itch. I probably honestly would have survived just because I resist psychic damage.
It's 10d10
Unless you roll
psychic
really
damage.
high, which is statistically 55, which comes down to 23.
It would have been dicey.
Literally.
Da-dun.
Yeah, no, it would have been on the damage roll, but I mean, it was not. I don't fail to save on anything other than a 1. So.
And you get the assist blip. For those of you watching, if an Illithid hits you with its brain suck attack, you don't get death saves. That's it. You get
It just
damage and
slurps
you
up your
die.
brain.
And that's how Mahogany died the first time.
Like a big gulp.
Speaking of Mahogany,
Yeah.
I definitely awarded your flaw. I can't be trusted to act on my own, and I should do what people tell me. I love that we had a scene where Mahogany's flaw was banging heads with Riot's flaw.
That was a really good scene, yes.
You took the intangibles blip as well. And I gave Riot and Liberation theirs for the prisoner, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mentioned already.
Excellent. So that's everybody's experience. So that's where I'm going to cut the video for YouTube, but we all have tangents we want to go on, apparently.
Tangents?
Yeah, okay, so here's mine real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because I've been playing a lot of Splatoon recently.
Oh, God.
And I just have this vision
Is that how
in my mind of Nath with a post-it note stuck over the bottom part of the screen where his character is, just completely ignoring the win condition and just headshotting squid after squid.
I don't remember what my tangent is, so it must not have been that important. I have not gotten to use Illithids very extensively in many, many years. It's been interesting to run Illithid combat again.